Deal with others in a grand way. Aspire to elevation. The great should never be petty. You needn't go into all the details when conversing with others, especially when the subject is distasteful. Notice things, but do so casually. It isn't good to turn conversation into detailed interrogation. Act with a courteous, noble generality, which is a sort of gallantry. A large part of ruling lies in feigning indifference. Learn to overlook most of the things that happen among your close friends, your acquaintances, and especially your enemies. Over scrupulousness is irritating, and if it forms part of your character, you will be tiresome to others. To keep circling round something unpleasant is a sort of mania. Remember that people usually behave like what they are, according to their own heart and their own capacity. Know yourself, your character, intellect, judgment, and emotions. You cannot master yourself if you do not understand yourself. There are mirrors for the face, but the only mirror for the spirit is wise self-reflection. And when you stop caring about your outer image, try to amend and improve the inner one. In order to undertake matters wisely, gauge your prudence and perspicacity. Judge how well you measure up to a challenge. Plumb your depths. Weigh your resources. The art of living long. Live well. Two things bring life to an early end: stupidity and depravity. Some lose their life by not knowing how to save it, others by not wanting to. Just as virtue is its own reward, vice is its own punishment. The person who races through a life of vice comes to a doubly quick end. The one who races through virtue never dies. The strength of the mind is communicated to the body. A good life is long both in intention and extension. The art of living well. Live well. Never act unless you think it prudent to do so. If the person doing something suspects he will fail, it will be evident to the person watching, even more so when he is a rival. If your judgment wavers in the heat of emotion, you'll be thought a fool when things cool down. It is dangerous to undertake something when you doubt its wisdom. It would be safer not to act at all. Prudence refuses to deal in probability. It always walks under the midday sun of reason. How can something turn out well when caution started to condemn it the moment it was conceived? Even resolutions that pass the inner examination, nemine discrepante, often turn out badly. So, what can we expect from those that reason doubted over and judgment considered rash? Transcendent wisdom, transcendent wisdom, transcendent wisdom, transcendent wisdom, transcendent wisdom. Transcendent wisdom. In every situation, this is the first and highest rule in acting and speaking. The more necessary, the greater and higher your occupation. An ounce of prudence is worth a pound of cleverness. It's more a matter of walking surely than of courting vulgar applause. A reputation for prudence is the ultimate triumph of fame. It is enough if you satisfy the prudent, whose approval is the touchstone of success. A universal man, a universal man, a universal man, a universal man. Possessing every perfection, he is equal to many men. He makes life ever so pleasant, communicating that enjoyment to his friends. Variety and perfection are what makes life delightful. It is a great art to know how to enjoy all good things. And since nature made man a compendium of the whole natural world, let art make him a universe by training his taste and intellect. Unfathomable gifts. The prudent person, if he wants to be revered by others, should never allow them to judge the extent of his knowledge and courage. Allow yourself to be known, but not comprehended. No one will discern the limits of your talent, and thus no one will be disappointed. You can win more admiration by keeping other people guessing the extent of your talent or even doubting it than you can by displaying it, however great. Keep expectations alive. Keep nourishing them. Let much promise more. And let great deeds make people expect still greater ones. Don't show everything you have on the first roll of the dice. The trick is to moderate your strength and knowledge and advance little by little towards success. Good common sense, it is the throne of reason, foundation of prudence, and by its light, it is easy to succeed. It is a gift from heaven, highly prized, because it is first and best. Good sense in our armor, so necessary that the lack of the single piece will make people call us lacking, when least present, most missed. All actions in life depend on its influence, and all solicit its approval. For all depends on intelligence. It consists of a natural inclination to all that conforms most to reason, and to all that is most fit. Make your reputation and keep it. We enjoy it on loan from fame. It is expansive, for it is born from eminence, which is as rare as mediocrity is common. Once attained, it is easily kept. It confers many an obligation, performs many a deed. It is a sort of majesty when it turns into veneration through the sublimity of its origin and sphere of action. Reputations based on substance are the ones that have always endured. Write your intentions in a cipher. Passions are the gates of the spirit. The most practical sort of knowledge lies in dissimulation. The person who shows his cards risks losing. Let caution and reserve combat the attentiveness of others. When your opponent sees into your reasoning like a lynx, conceal your thoughts like an inky cuttlefish. Let no one discover your inclinations, no one foresee them, either to contradict or to flatter them. Reality and appearance. Things pass for what they seem, not for what they are. Only rarely do people look into them, and many are satisfied with appearances. It isn't enough to be right if your face looks malicious and wrong. A man free of deceit and illusion, one who is virtuous and wise, a courtly philosopher. But do not be so only in appearance or flaunt your virtue. Philosophy is no longer revered, although it is the chief pursuit of the wise. The science of prudence is no longer venerated. Seneca introduced it to Rome, and for a time it appealed to the noble, but now it is considered useless and bothersome. And yet freeing oneself from deceit has always been food for prudence, and one of the delights of righteousness. Half the world is laughing at the other half, and folly rules over all. Either everything is good or everything is bad, depending on how you look at. Either everything is good or everything is bad, depending on how you look at it. What one person pursues, another shuns. It is an insufferable fool who measures all things by his own opinion. Perfection does not mean pleasing One person alone, tastes are as abundant as faces, and just as varied. There is no defect that someone does not value, and you need not lower your opinion because a thing doesn't please some people. There will be others to appreciate it, and their applause in turn will be condemned. The norm of true satisfaction is the approval of renowned people who know how to judge each class of things. One does not live by following one opinion, one custom, or one century.